serving southern New Mexico. This is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Noah Padaka.
And I'm Abigail Salas. It appears New Mexico's 2nd Congressional District will stay the same for the 2024 election. The state Supreme Court ruled districts can stay the way it is.
Now, the Republican Party sued, saying the democratically controlled legislature unconstitutionally drew the district to favor Democrats. Now, in October, a judge ruled that it does favor Democrats, but not so much to make it unconstitutional. The district is traditionally Republican, but in 2020, Democrat Gabe Vasquez defeated Republican incumbent Yvette Harrell by 1,200 votes, and it will be a rematch next year. And military veterans in New Mexico seem to be doing pretty well as compared to other states. Now, analysis by the New Mexico Department of Workforce Solutions shows 38% of New Mexico veterans have an associate's degree, while 34% have a bachelor's degree. Median annual income for veterans in 2021 was at $44,000 compared to $27,000 for non-veterans. Veterans also have a lower jobless rate, sitting at 3.3% in 2022, and it was 3.8% for non-veterans. As for homelessness among the veterans, it is decreasing nationwide, but New Mexico is not looked at specifically. Around 4,500 acres of federal land in New Mexico is on the market for oil and gas drilling. The land is in the Permian Basin over in southeastern part of the state. Once a company leases the land, it'll have the right to drill there for 10 years. Companies will be paying more for those rights to drill due to provisions in the Biden administration's Inflation Reduction Act. Now, those leases are expected to be sold in the summer of 2024. However, the Center for American Progress wants the administration to hold companies accountable for violating environmental and labor standards.
Well, Noah, have you been enjoying that colder weather we're getting?
You know, I have, but Anaya has a first look at weather. Anaya, what can you tell us?
Thank you, guys. Let's take a look at our current conditions. Right now, our skies are clear with a temperature of 51 degrees. Our winds are northeast at 4 miles per hour. Our humidity is sitting at 26%, and our dew point is 28 degrees. And finally, our barometer is at 30.17 inches. Taking a look at our high from today, we had a high of 60 with an average temperature for today around 62 with a low of 34 degrees. Looking at our record temps in 1998, we had a high of 76 degrees and a very frigid low of 10 degrees from 1976. We had no precipitation today, leaving our yearly total at 5.72 inches. Let's head back to the desk for some more news.
Thanks, Anaya. Now, today is Giving Tuesday, a global generosity movement. Now, the purpose is to connect people or generous people with nonprofit do-good organizations, and New Mexico State University is taking part of that. Now, there are 12 initiatives to donate to, and what's even better is the NMSU Foundation has a $50,000 gift that will double the size of your contribution. Now, to donate, Google NMSU Foundation Giving Tuesday, and so far they've raised about $250,000. And don't go anywhere, Anaya will be back with your national weather forecast.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Tuesday,
where news matters.
Peaches, plums, and nectarines from HMC farms are being recalled. They're linked to a deadly listeria outbreak. The FDA says that they were sold to Publix, Walmart, Sam's Club, Sprouts, Farmers, and others. They were sold between May of 2022 through November 15th of this year. The fruit may have gone to companies that froze or relabeled it, and the FDA says any fruit currently in store is not affected.
And Honda is recalling hundreds of thousands of vehicles due to an issue with their seat belts. The recall affects Honda Accords and HR-Vs that were manufactured between October of last year to October of this year. The defective piece is the part of the seat belt that tightens and stops occupants from flying forward in a crash. Now, Honda says it has not received any reports of injuries or deaths as a result. A new analysis and maps from a NOAA climate scientist shows snowfall is declining globally. Scientists blame rising temperatures from human-caused climate change. They say a warmer world means precipitation is more likely to fall as rain than snow. Now, it's most notable where most of the world's population resides. And while we might be seeing extreme weather storms in some areas, scientists warn that this will decrease as the years go on. A major concern from this trend is the impact on water supplies from the snowpack melting. And speaking of that weather, it's cold in some areas in the country.
Yeah, well, Anaya, what can you tell us about the rest of the country?
Thank you, guys. Let's take a look at our national maps for today. If we look at our first national map, we see our current temperatures around the U.S. We are seeing a lot colder temperatures below freezing up in the northeast through the Ohio Valley up to upper Midwest. We're seeing warmer temperatures down here along the south in Texas, of course, and along the border and along the sea. We're seeing some of those more colder temperatures in the mid-upper western region as well, similar to what we're seeing in the northeast region. We're seeing warmer temperatures throughout the south, but still pretty chilly. Let's look at our next map. This next map shows the current wind chills, and that corroborates the map from before. We see those same cold areas through the northeast, through the Ohio Valley, and up to the upper Midwest. We're also seeing some wind chills down here in New Mexico. I know I definitely felt it this morning on my morning walk. It was very chilly, and the wind was just biting. Everywhere else is really seeing that, except for really Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana, and Florida. They're pretty safe from it for now. Let's take a look at the next map. Right here, we're seeing the snow cover. We are seeing less than we typically see around this time, as they said. We're seeing some in the Four Corners region as well as the Great Basin region. We're seeing some, again, colder temperatures with that snow in the northeast through the Ohio Valley and down here through Nebraska. I'm sorry, not Nebraska, Kansas. Let's take a look at our last map. And finally, we're seeing our temperatures for January. These are the high average temps predicted for January. We're seeing those colder temperatures up to the north and warmer down to the south. Most of New Mexico is in the 50s, will be in the high 50s for the month of January, and northern New Mexico will see 40s. I'll be back with your local forecast. Welcome back. Let's take a look at our local temperatures. Right now in Farmington, it's about freezing 32 degrees, Santa Fe sitting at 35, Gallup 36, Albuquerque 41, Clovis 46, Socorro 43, Ruidoso and Roswell are both 49 degrees, Las Cruces here 51 degrees, and Deming is 56 degrees. Take a look at our temperatures tomorrow. Farmington will be a high of 46, as well as Santa Fe, Gallup with a high of 52, Albuquerque 51, Clovis 60, Socorro 55, Ruidoso 54, Roswell 61, Las Cruces 66, and Deming at 65 degrees tomorrow. In Alamogordo, they will have mostly cloudy skies tonight with a low of 31, and tomorrow mostly cloudy skies with a high of 63. Truth or Consequences will see partly cloudy skies tonight with a low of 30, and all clouds tomorrow with a high of 63 degrees. Silver City will see clear skies tonight with a low of 33, and all clouds tomorrow again with a high of 59 degrees. And Las Cruces, we will see some partly clear skies tonight with a low of 34, and tomorrow mostly cloudy skies with a high of 66. Let's head back to the desk for some more news.
And Ben, we know it's a big week for Aggies, especially in football. What can you preview for us in sports?
Thanks, Noah. Coming up in sports, the Aggie football team has won 10 games for the first time since the 1960s. You can toss that remote because News22 Sports is next.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back. I'm Ben Schlittler, and let's talk sports. For the first time in 63 years, the Aggie football team has won 10 games, and they did it in miraculous fashion. NMSU hosted Jacksonville State last Saturday, and after the Aggies got out to a 17-3 lead, the Gamecocks came roaring back thanks to a strong run game. They gassed the Aggies in the second half and tied the game. However, the Aggies stayed in it, and Ethan Albertson, on senior day with the game on the line, booted it through the uprights and secured their 10th win. NMSU plays Liberty in the CUSA Championship next week, and Coach Kill isn't underestimating the undefeated Flames.
Bottom line is this game for us to hang in there and be in the game is we can't turn the ball over, and we turned it over 3 times, when we went there and played them last. And, they're a big cause of that. They're a big, physical, strong team.
NMSU women's basketball headed to Brooklyn, New York last week to play in the LIU Classic, and they lift Brooklyn with a 2-0 record. In Game 1 on Friday against Hampton, NMSU blasted the Pirates by 30 points after an otherworldly shooting performance by Jyla Harding, who went a nice 6 from 9 from 3 in the Aggie win. Game 2 against Cal State Bakersfield was much closer, and the Roadrunners had a miraculous 25-point fourth quarter before Molly Kaiser drove to the lane and sunk the dagger to put the game out of reach and win 64-59. NMSU next takes the court this Saturday against blood rival UNM. The men's basketball team also faced a big challenge over the weekend as they went to Louisville to take on one of the most historic programs in the sport. They came within minutes of winning, but it was an immensely strange game. Though their leading scorer and rebounder, Femi Odekale, missed the game after an illness, the Aggies brought their A game and gave the Cardinals all they could handle. The Aggies had an 8-point lead with a minute to go, but Louisville went on an 8-0 run in the last minute, and thanks to some missed Aggie free throws, they forced overtime. In overtime, the Aggies dealt with foul trouble and had to play 4-on-5 for most of the overtime period, and that was too much for the Ags to overcome, losing 90-84. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us tomorrow for more sports action.
Well, welcome back. Let's go ahead and take a look at your top stories.
It appears New Mexico's 2nd congressional district boundaries will stay the same for the 2024 election.
Now, Abby, the weather is a little warm for November. It's a little sus, I gotta say.
I mean, it is extremely sus. Anaya, what can you tell us for the rest of the week?
Taking a look at our 5-day forecast, on Wednesday we're seeing mostly cloudy skies with a high of 66 and a low of 41. Thursday, mostly cloudy skies again with a high of 58 and a low of 37. Friday has mostly sunny skies with a high of 59 and a low of 32. And Saturday again sees mostly sunny skies with a high of 57 and a low of 31. And then those sussy clouds go away and we have clear sunny skies with a high of 60 and a low of 31. Let's head back to the desk.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I've been Noah Padaka.
And I'm Abigail Salas. Tune in tomorrow night for more news.
Have a great night.
This news brief in Español is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Buen día, mi nombre es Jorge Fonseca y gracias por acompañarnos en Noticias 22. Parece que los límites del segundo distrito congresional de Nuevo México seguirán siendo los mismos para las elecciones de 2024. La Corte Suprema del Estado ha decidido que permanezca como está. El Partido Republicano presentó una demanda alegando que la legislatura controlada por los demócratas había trazado inconstitucionalmente el distrito para favorecer a los demócratas. En octubre de este año, el juez del 9º Distrito Judicial, Fred Van Solen, dictaminó que se favorece a los demócratas, pero no tanto como para violar la ley. El distrito es tradicionalmente republicano, pero en 2020, el demócrata Gabe Vázquez derrotó a la republicana Yvette Harrell por 12,000 votos. Se da una revancha el próximo año. Alrededor de 4,500 acres de tierras federales en Nuevo México están en el mercado para la perforación y obtención de petróleo y gas. Los terrenos se encuentran en la cuenca del Pérmico, en el sudeste de Nuevo México. Una vez que una empresa alquile la tierra, tendrá derecho a perforar ahí durante 10 años. Las empresas pagarán más por los derechos de perforación debido a las disposiciones de la ley de reducción de la inflación de la administración de Biden. Se espera que estas áreas se vendan el próximo verano. Sin embargo, el Centro del Progreso Americano quiere que la administración exija responsabilidades a las empresas por violar las normas medioambientales y laborales. Esto ha sido todo por mi parte. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros aquí en Noticias 22. Hasta pronto.